Good morning, or First 931. I am your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter.
I'm Reece Moore.
And we are live at Supreme Building Products. Yes. And this is Reese's FYI Fridays. And you know, what I love most about Supreme is like when I want to do something crazy and tangent, I don't even have to ask. I just come in and Reese is like, what's going on today? And I was like, dude, we got a show. We got a show. But we have several things going on. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the amazing products that you guys got going on, followed by a quick break from a word from our sponsors. And then we're going to have Dallas Neal. Yeah, okay. I was almost going to say King for some reason.
I'm really excited about that segment.
Oh, I know, because we're huge dog lovers, and I know you love training your dogs, and you're in the midst of training your new dog, Molly, right now. And so we're going to get to talk to her and, like, pick her brain a little bit this morning. And then at 9:30, it is the supreme of all supremes. We are going to have James Farrell, Jason McEwen, and J.C. Petit Jr., come on the show and talk to us about, you know, all things and everything's going on with, wanting to become a county commissioner or a county executive. And the reason I done this, Reese, is ever since our debate and community forum on Friday, and I went to others on Monday, the biggest thing that people said to me is, Kelly, it's not enough time. 2 questions is not enough to get to know somebody. And you know, and that's the only thing people are talking about right now is politics. So you know what? I'm about to overload you so much you may vomit today, okay? But today we're going to talk to our county executives on Monday, Reese. We got Bo Ramsey lined up. Now, Jackie Matheny Jr., he can unfortunately, but he said if his plans change, he's going to be with us on Monday. Tuesday, I got Tom Davis and Rocky Adams. They're running for the 4th congressional seat on the Republican ticket. And then on Thursday, I got lined up Tim Lanier. So if anybody, and I'm saying this, Reese, you know, double stamp me, double check me on this, and I'm looking at you as I say, if any candidate, anybody, you have an open invitation to come on this show.
Yeah, local
elections.
State, whatever it is, it's an open forum.
Open.
For Warren First 931.
Yes. So
and for I commend you for that.
Thank you. And so, and again,
what better way to start? What a better way to have these gentlemen here on the first day of early voting.
Exactly.
July 17th, the first day of early voting, Kelly.
Early voting did start. It started actually, at 8?
Is it 8 a.m.?
8 a.m., 9 o'clock today. And then it goes on. I don't have the paper in front of me right now. But July 17th through August the 1st is early voting. And then August the 6th is the last day you can vote. At 7 o'clock on the dot on August the 6th.
It's cut off 7 p.m.
A volunteer will come out. And then when 7:01 clicks, they have a volunteer that steps in the line. So they know if anybody comes in, they're like, no, you can't vote. Sorry, you missed the deadline.
What if you're voting? Like, what if you're in the booth and it hits 7:01?
They don't shut it down. Like if you're still in the line and it's past 7 o'clock.
Oh, if you're in the line. Okay.
If you're in the line before 7, you get to vote.
Okay.
That's why voting takes so long, depending on where it's at.
Okay, because there could be a long line.
Yeah.
At that 7.
That's correct.
At that 6:59, 7 o'clock.
That's correct.
Time frame.
So, but anyways, let's get into first and foremost what is going on at Supreme Building Products and what is up for grabs this week.
Well, Kelly, we've had a good week. It's been a busy week, been a rainy week. It's been up and down. It's been a spotty range here and there, so it's been difficult for us to get things in and out on knowing where to go. But Ashley made us a nice little sign. We've got some deck screws, guys. Those deck screws are always a hot ticket because they're $100 a pail. They're usually, when they're not on sale, they're usually about $130, $140 a box.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good one. You got a little landscape, little garden shovel there, pretty neat. If you want to, it's about past garden time, but we don't. We got a few, and to be honest with you, again, because of how busy it's been, I've not had a lot of time to get my stuff together. But the hot item will be the deck screws. But Kelly's still selling a lot of pressure treated lumber right now. You know, like I said, like we've had that conversation many times. You know, wait till the fall before you stain it.
Yep.
Wait till the fall before you stain your lumber, your decks. But yeah, we appreciate everyone's business. Appreciate everyone shopping local. Whether it be lumber, whether it be just small DIY projects, finally getting past the 4th of July holidays.
Oh my gosh,
that was finally a slow time, which it was a good time to relax and reset. But yes, we've been very busy, been very fortunate, and just looking forward to the segment that you have coming up on this show.
I know, we're going to really look forward to it. When we come back, Reece, we're going to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors, and then we're going to talk about our weather sponsor and sponsorships, and then we're going to talk to Dallas. And I'm going to let you take the reins on the Q&A with her because you do all the dog hunting, and I only taught my dog 2 tricks: sit and stay.
That's all you need.
That's all. But guys, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and when we get back, more to come. And remember, Warren County, keep it first.
Located at 601 Beersheba Highway, McMinnville, or give them a call at 474-1776. At Our Coffee, we pour love into every cup of coffee we serve. Welcome to Our Coffee Drive-Thru, located at 601 Beersheba Highway, McMinnville. When you need help with your medical needs, who are you going to call? At Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy, you're not just a number, you're a part of our community. When you call Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy, you'll get a live person to help answer your medical questions. In a hurry? Try our convenient drive-thru. Stacy specializes in Mr. Stewart's over-the-counter and prescription cough syrups. Need to transfer your prescriptions? It's no trouble to transfer to Stacy's, where people care and wellness matters. Stacy's Wellness Pharmacy is located at 485 North Chancery Street, or give them a call at 474-0600.
Looking for the best selection, great prices, and hometown service? Make your next stop Worldwide Liquors in McMinnville. Whether you're planning a backyard barbecue, celebrating a special occasion, or simply picking up your favorite drink, Worldwide Liquors has everything you need, all in one convenient location. Friendly service, competitive prices, and an incredible selection make Worldwide Liquors Warren County's destination for beer, wine, and spirits. Stop by Worldwide Liquors today, conveniently located in McMinnville. Great selection, great prices, great service. Every visit.
Hi, this is Chris Chalpin, owner of Reddick Brown Ford right here in Morrison, Tennessee. In the nursery capital of the world, you need a truck that works as hard as you do. At Reddick Brown Ford, we understand growers, landscapers, and nursery owners because we serve Warren County every single day. From Ford Super Duty trucks to dependable commercial fleet, we help you haul, tow, and grow your business with confidence. Our team also knows your industry, your season, and your bottom line. So when it's time for your next work truck, don't go far from home. Reddick Brown Ford, proud to support the nursery community. Veteran owned and operated right here in Warren County.
Welcome one and all. We are back live at Supreme Building Products. I'm your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter.
I'm Reece Moore.
And we are live at Supreme Building Products. And currently in downtown McMinnville, we are at 80 degrees. Today's high is 85. Tonight's low is 72. And again, I hate to keep saying the R word or the T word at this point, but we have a 60% chance of thunderstorms and showers today. I mean, it's been this is true Tennessee weather at this point, but we want to say all weekend long, tomorrow, Saturday, a 50% chance, Sunday, a 60% chance, and then Monday, a 40% chance of rain. And our weather is being brought to you by Randall Gillum for DA, and also Reddick Brown Ford. Have you driven a Ford lately? But with us now, we have the pet extraordinaire. Dallas Neal is in the house.
Hi. I'm happy to be here today.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. And we've got Coy.
Yes.
Coy's down here.
Behaving like a good boy.
He's a lot better than Molly. So,
yeah.
For those of you all pretty dog people, this is a Boykin Spaniel. This is a liver color or own?
Like a chocolate.
Okay, chocolate. Okay, so he's a Boykin Spaniel. The Boykin Spaniels actually originated out of South Carolina. That's actually the pet of that's for a little FYI information.
Yeah.
Information, but they actually originated out of South Carolina. They call it the gentleman's the gentleman's hunting dog, I think they may call it. But Dallas, tell us a little. I know I recognize you from when you used to work for Dr. Sam at Sparta Street Vet, but tell us a little bit about your history and how you got to where you are now.
So I started my career in the pet care industry in veterinary medicine. I started cleaning kennels as a teenager at Sparta Road Veterinary Clinic. Did that for several years as my after-school job. Really liked it. And then as I got older, I went to college, got my veterinary assistant certification. Then I spent 13 years in that field. Loved it, had the best time. But as I got older, I realized I could help a lot more owners and dogs by being a trainer and helping with behavior and different things. And so last year I completed my dog trainer certification to train dogs professionally. Yes.
I love that.
And you also do dog boarding as well, correct?
I do. So I own a 5-acre farm, which that is dog training, dog boarding, dog daycare, anything dog related. I am happy to help you with.
I love that. And how long have you been doing that?
Officially 3 years in my own business, self-employed. And it's been a great 3 years. It's been really nice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, Dallas, about because I love dogs. Everybody knows that I love animals. I love the training aspect with the hunting part. That's really why I enjoy the hunting, is with the dog and the field work. But tell us really, when do you need to start the training of a puppy? When do you want to start that?
Whether it's a puppy that you bring home, like your puppy, you bring him home brand new, or if it's a rescue dog you've adopted, or any type of new animal you're bringing into your home, training starts that day.
Really?
That day. So whether you realize it or not, you are always training your animal.
Yeah.
So every interaction you have with your dog is training.
Yeah.
Whether you realize it or not. Right. They are always learning. They're just like kids. They're little sponges. They're observant. They're smart.
Yeah. They can do so much.
And so every interaction you have with your animal is some form of training, whether you realize it or not. So start day one.
Yeah.
Start day one. It is never too soon. It's never too early.
Yeah.
Day one.
What are some cons that people there's misconceptions from day one, when you train, what should people not do that first 5 to 7 days? Is there a do's and a don't list?
There's really not that much you can do. Dogs are so forgiving. Yeah. They are some of the best partners to work with. Mm-hmm. They're so forgiving and so smart. So there's really not much you can do to just completely ruin your dog. When you're first getting started in your relationship, I say less is more, especially with a puppy, a young dog, a new dog. You want to use those first couple days to, still create structure, still create boundaries, but let them be a dog too. Yeah. Get to know each other, enjoy each other, see what life is going to look like together, and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I agree. And if you take care of them, the longevity. You can have
a long time. 14, 15, 16.
We're working on 17. We're on 19 years with a Great Dane.
Yeah.
How long?
19-year-old. Thank you.
A Great Dane?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's unheard of.
But I did, in all fairness, I did pick her up when she was 7 or 8 years old. I rescued her at that age.
That's unheard of.
It is unheard of.
It is.
But
that means you're doing a good job.
I have friends that, and I will say this, I'm going to tattle on myself. I will say that I'm at a point with her now that I just let her do whatever she wants. Eat whatever she wants.
That's the only hard rule I have as a dog trainer or professional is once your dog hits that 10 or 11 year mark, they get to do whatever they want. To a point.
So I feel clarified. Okay, good.
But once they hit those really golden senior years, enjoy life with your dog. Do all those silly things that maybe we didn't allow as puppies.
Yeah.
Really live it up with them.
Let them live it.
Yeah. Because they're here for us. They're here to enjoy life with us.
And we talked off air, about all the other places, people can get animals from. You know, for anybody that wants to become a new dog owner or even a cat owner, I'll put that. There is places here in Warren County we can get those animals.
Absolutely. So there are 2 shelters here if you are interested in adoption. There is the City of McMinnville shelter with Keith, the director there. It is a fabulous shelter. It's ran very well. And he even, worked with me to kind of figure out what these dogs need, what homes would suit them best, because we want to set them up to be successful outside of the shelter. And then there's also Warren County Animal Control and Adoption Center, equally just as wonderful. Jeff does a great job. They have a lot of dogs that really need homes, and they have the potential to be wonderful, family pets or working dogs. Really, whatever you're looking for, you could find there.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a quote from Blaine Wiltshire. He said, we cannot blame the animals. He said something about irresponsible humans. At the end of the day,
it's very much a community, a community problem that we all need to come together and work on.
Yeah. Oh, that was Shelby. She's in the corner, Shelby. I always go off the cuff. She's in the back corner. Yeah.
And I tell you, Dallas, there's nothing worse than an irresponsible dog owner. It bothers me nothing more than
that makes my blood boil.
It's sad.
Seeing a dog chained up, tied up to a tree. I'm just, with no interaction.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse. I mean, there is obviously, but I mean, just for what kind of person would allow that kind of treatment for an animal? And like you said, in that regard, you can't blame the animal. You cannot blame the dog or the cat or the horse or whatever it may be.
Yeah. They don't have any control over that.
Yeah, animals are very forgiving.
Yes,
I feel
they are.
in general.
They are very, very forgiving.
Yeah, and I also say this too: sheltered, rescued animals are the best animals to start out as a pet, because the love and
they're happy to be there.
For.
They are.
And I will say for Bailey, because he was my last rescue dog, because I only can do 3 at a time. Sorry. There is a time frame people need to understand, right? Because if they come out of it, depending on the situation, the abuse, the neglect, whatever you want to put a word there, you got to wait. I think it was about
like you.
3 months. Was it like
she's looking at you like
3 weeks to 3 months, depending on the situation, on their behavior?
It takes a while. It does take up to 3 months, if not more, for just like us. It can take me several months to adjust to a new schedule, a new job, a move. It takes, a little bit of time for them to adjust to these things.
I told her that he could come up there. Nobody.
Pause up.
He was like, "There's not enough room, y'all." He's like, "Move your fanny."
I'm a super dog person. I just love dogs.
He said, "You must be."
He does. But no, if anybody is interested in learning more about what you do, or if they want to train their dog, if they want to board up, you do a little bit of everything.
I do.
So.
And that's what kind of leads me into what I really wanted to come on here for.
Okay.
Is an online platform called Fifi. It is a completely virtual, online only dog training platform.
Oh.
And we are giving completely free sessions away.
Okay.
To anyone with a new puppy, new dog, recently added dog, somebody that rescued a dog, even if it was last year and you need help.
Yeah.
We are giving away 100% free sessions.
That's awesome.
And that's going to, my hope for that is that we can help empower owners to be more educated, more responsible, make better choices, and then in turn keep some of these dogs out of the shelter or off getting dumped on the side of the road.
Don't even get me started.
Or all the things that happen. And I think if people really have an opportunity to do better, I think people will. They just need the
good.
tools to do that.
Yeah. And so how can they register for this program?
So go to fifi.com.
Okay.
You will,
F-I-F-I?
it's P-H-E-E-F-E-E. There was some crazy trademark stuff in there that
we'll add this in the comments later. Okay.
And then I'm going to leave a flyer with Kelly, so she'll have all the information.
And we'll put it in our newspaper.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But you're going to create an account. There's a code that's called Rescue 100. You will plug that in. You will be able to see and even if you don't want to work with me, there are other trainers on there doing this as well. So if you want to work with me, reach out to me at 5 Acre Farm. We will schedule a time. We'll make it happen. But if you hop on there and see somebody else that you're interested in, work with them and make it happen, whether it's with me or another professional. Yeah. There's no reason not to train your dog.
Okay. Well, I love that. So
is your information on there too, Dallas, that if somebody wants to do, in-person training?
Yes, I will leave all that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Is there anything we have not asked you yet other than when are we going to take the dog off your hands?
I guess. Well,
I love the haircut. This hairstyle is just.
The boy can be known for that mohawk.
I think this is connected directly to his brain.
Okay.
So I think it helps the brain power.
Okay.
But he's a very
cool.
He's a very cool little dude.
Anytime you're going to town, you need a free dog sitter.
You guys can catch a lot of ducks together. Huh?
Oh my God, I love that. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. Reece, do you have any final thoughts for her?
Thank you so much.
You and me, we may kidnap this dog for the day. Other than that, I'm good.
Well, we got that live on air, so now that
hey, it's proof. It's proof. I know where to come look for him at.
Yes, and he's at a good place, though. I promise you that. Guys, we're going to take another quick break for more from our sponsors, but when we come back, we're going to get set up for our big extravaganza, the supreme of all supremes. We're going to have Jason McEwen, James Farrell, and JC Petit Jr. come on the show with us and talk or answer the questions that you guys shared with us for the debate/community forum, as well as the ones we got online. And we are opened up right now if you want to start shoving in those questions, the live on-air questions. Now, we're going to try to get to them as best as we can, and I'll explain that coming up after the break. But remember, Warren County, keep it first.
Taking out, we've got something
for
everyone.
Here?
From our mouth,
I didn't think he was supposed to be here.
What happened to the
juicy
funeral?
ribeye steaks, specialty sandwiches, and fried chicken tenders. Your taste buds are in for a treat.
Don't forget our weekly specials. Monday, spaghetti or a hamburger steak. Tuesday, meatloaf or barbecue chicken court. Wednesday, pork loin or Salisbury steak. Thursday, smoked chicken halves or country fried steak. Friday, fried catfish or Cajun catfish on rice.
Whether you're feeding hundreds at a company picnic or meeting a friend for lunch, you can count on Praters to satisfy your taste buds.
Call us at 635-2259 and taste the tradition at Praters Barbecue. 30 years of excellence.
This is Tennessee, where every blade of grass tells a story and every lawn is a legacy. At McMinnville Lawn and Garden, we don't just sell equipment. We partner with you to protect what matters most. From Skag's finest zero turns to expert service that keeps your land looking its best. Because this is more than business. This is home. McMinnville Lawn and Garden, where Tennessee pride meets Tennessee quality.
Come join us at 110 East Main Street for a farm-to-table experience all year long. We offer gluten-free, dairy-free, guilt-free goodness that will leave you feeling energized and satisfied with every bite. Our small batch from-scratch menu bursts with juice, shots, smoothies, soups, wraps, and sandwiches, and more prepared daily to give you all the nutrients your body craves. We never add powder, sugars, or anything you can't pronounce, so don't miss out on this delicious, healthy opportunity. Swing by and indulge in some wholesome goodness today at 110 East Main Street, McMinnville, Tennessee.
Community Network Productions takes you inside each community with local interest stories, local music artists, and information.
With each show, the focus is the people and our beautiful community. With our creative team, we customize unique show ideas with our friends in the community. Our focus is you.
See each of our shows on all social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and at our website at www.communitytvtn.com.
Bank has been serving the people of this region for 53 years, and we are fully committed to the people and the communities that place their trust in us. McMinnville in Warren County is just one of the 9 counties that we serve. With 4 convenient branch locations, along with 7 ATM and ITM locations, you can be assured that Citizens Tri-County Bank is close by. Committed to you and committed to the communities we serve. It truly is what makes Citizens Tri-County Bank the only community bank you'll ever need. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is David Moore with Supreme Building Products. We've been your one-stop shopping center for lumber and building supplies since 1963. We're a family-owned business and operated and proudly served Warren County for over 50 years. At Supreme, it's not just about great prices, but it's about exceptional service. Our customers are what's always supreme. From lumber to roofing to plumbing and paint, we have everything you need to build your dream home from the ground up. Whether you're a contractor, a homeowner, or a weekend warrior, our knowledgeable staff is ready to assist you at our state-of-the-art drive-through lumberyard. Visit us, please, at the corner of Highway 70 and North Spring Street. There's something for everyone at Supreme Building Products, where quality and customers come first, and the coffee's always free. And always be sure to shop local. Call us, please, at 473-9564.
Where we say the customer's always supreme. Supreme Building Products. Your one-stop shop for all your building needs. From the showroom to the lumberyard, a builder's dream. Professional sales and a great location with your guaranteed satisfaction. Where we say the customer's always supreme. Supreme Building Products. Supreme Building Products.
Rise and shine, McMinnville. Treat yourself to delicious frozen and soft drinks in Sonic, perfect for those hot summer days. Whether it's lunch or dinner, let Sonic be your go-to stop to cool off and refuel during the summer rush. And don't miss our special drink offer available until 10 a.m. Start your day the right way. With so many flavors to choose from and the best sun drop in town, why go anywhere else? Drive into summer with Sonic in McMinnville.
This is Tennessee, where every blade of grass tells a story and every lawn is a legacy. At McMinnville Lawn and Garden, we don't just sell equipment. We partner with you to protect what matters most. From Skag's finest zero turns to expert service that keeps your land looking its best. Because this is more than business. This is home. McMinnville Lawn and Garden, where Tennessee pride meets Tennessee quality.
All right, guys, welcome back to Warren First 931. I am your host of the show, Kelly Walker Slaughter, and that's not working anymore, so that's Duddy Fuddy. But I am live at Supreme Building Products.
Yes.
And we have a Supreme show for you today. With me right now, I have all 4 county people, the incumbent, our county executive director, and this is a surprise visit. Terry Bell's here with us. And again, we do apologize for the death of the family.
Yeah.
You know, y'all are in our prayers.
Yeah, I do want to tell everybody exactly what happened. Me and my wife, her uncle died, and we were planning on going to Florida.
Yeah.
And she actually got sick and wasn't able to make the trip. So that I just come home to work.
Yeah,
like I
you're
normally
still
do.
working.
I'm still working.
And then, of course, we have Mr. James Farrell, J.C. Petit Jr., and Jason McKeown with us. I was like, yay, I finally get to actually like shake hands with Jason. It's so nice to meet each and every one of y'all in person. So the biggest thing that a lot of our Warren First 931 viewers were like, you guys did not have enough time for questions to really get to know everybody, right? And so what we'll do is we'll just say your name, you know, what what they're, if you're R, a D, or an I, and then we're going to go right into the Q&A. No one has, there's no time frame, Reece.
Okay.
But if I do see that people are kind of dragging on, I am going to raise my hand to say, hey, let's wrap it up, because there is a lot of questions I want to get.
And there's a lot of questions rolling in right now as we're live,
Yeah,
Kelly. I can't believe it. That's amazing.
And then also, too, if somebody wants to interject in that question, just raise your hand, you know, and then we'll call on you. If that's cool with you guys, it's good with me. And last but definitely not least, I did tell everybody, just like I did in my debate and community forum, if there's any foul language or inappropriate behavior, I will, this is your warning, guys. Don't make my 135-pound self throw y'all out. But with that said, we'll just start with the incumbent. Here you go.
I'm Terry Bell, the current Republican nominee for county executive.
I'm James Furl. I'm an independent because that's the only thing they can put me in, because I'm one of the people for the people, and I will actually work for the people.
Okay.
J.C. Petit Jr. as a Democratic ticket.
Jason McEwen on the independent.
All right. Well, thank you guys first for coming on the show. Let's start off with the questions that we didn't get to answer at the debate and community forum.
Do we want to, Kelly, before we start as far as procedure, do we want to just say the first question, let Terry lead, and then go back down the line, or how do you want to do that?
I was just going to ask the question, and then who wants to go?
Chime in?
I wanted this to be a conversational, sit down, relax, go thing.
Okay. Well, let's start with the first question, Kelly. Gentlemen, in recent years, Warren County residents have been concerned about chicken houses, rock quarries, and now data centers locating next to their home. What are your thoughts on implementing zoning restrictions outside McMinnville city limits to better control where businesses can locate?
You want me to start?
Yeah, I think that'd be, yes.
I don't care about to start, because I've kind of made it plain that I'm against zoning, countywide zoning. It's a tedious process that would have to be taken, because every section, if you implement zoning, you would have to designate, we've got industry out in the county, just like Victaulic, this out Rock Island would have to be an industrial area. And so it's really my ideal for that. We placed the moratorium for the data centers. I'm against the data centers locating here. And we are going to come up with, we have private acts right now in county government that control landfills, mobile home parks, adult entertainment. So I see no reason why we can't send another private act down to Nashville, and we can put our own regulations into that to keep them out of our neighborhoods and protect our citizens of Warren County.
Anybody else want to take off on that?
Well, I think the moratorium is a great thing. I mean, the thing about it is, though, if you wait 6 months to pass this to go to the state, this could give a chance for somebody on a data center to go above us and start a process that could maybe come back and bite us.
Yeah.
That's where I'm kind of,
confused.
What I would do is get the county executive and create like a 2 or 3 man team, find one in a close area around us with maybe the same kind of size of what we're hearing rumors are coming here. Go to it, see if we got access to get inside it. Take a steady look inside. Go at nighttime. See if we hear these buzzing sounds that they're talking about. Feel the heat. Come back. Give it about a 6-week pause, and then I would reach out to that community it's in and pick the brains on the city and county level of the pros and cons of before and after effects.
Counter that. With that being said, since there's a moratorium, doesn't that mean like no permits can be put in place until?
That's exactly true. They can't, if they come in the county building
just to like clarify,
and ask for a permit to put in a data center, we will not issue a permit. Our fire marshal has said he will not do that, because it is not, we don't have regulations for the safety of our residents to fight that fire if there was a fire at that facility.
Okay. James, you were going to say something too, weren't you?
Yes, the thing about it, if they're going to go and do laws, I haven't heard the county commission about anything that they've even thought about bringing the regulations or whatever on the data center. I ain't heard nothing yet. I don't know.
Other than just the moratorium, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Jason?
Yeah, and I think I agree. It needs to be acted upon quickly. We need to start our investigations into this and work with Nashville. They're already on this with setting up regulations and setting up things like them paying for their own electrical bills and stuff like that. So we need to work with our capital, work with those people already have jump-started this situation that we're in.
Yeah.
And let's get involved with our surrounding counties to effectively make a difference before it's too late.
And then going off with one of the questions from last night off the social media post that we made, because we're going to just keep pinging around. We're going to go, we got a ton of live already popping through. What do you plan to do that's different from the current administration?
Transparency.
Okay.
What we're doing here right now, people can watch this.
Yeah.
I know we do the full court on video. So what I want to implement is the subcommittees to be implemented as well.
Mhm.
In case somebody's not able to attend it that night, but they can go back. But it also helps the commissioners. When you have about 80% plus that have a full-time job, but they're voting on other situations on the full court, yes, you get the hard packet on a Friday afternoon before that Monday meeting, the third Monday of each month, but there's nothing for them to kind of go back and use their phone and just kind of watch that video of another committee. They're getting the homework, ahead of the game somewhat, and it helps break it down, but it informs the public of what's going on with their decision making.
I got you. Anybody else?
The decisions, the transparency. I've not seen the transparency, and even the transparency of about somebody bringing a complaint to them, to have, what do you call that, to petition our government for the grievances. All I found out is the answer is what I heard from the county executive is I told them no. And I actually put a petition in. I filed it into the court. I filed an affidavit. I give notice to the commissioners and all that. I mean, I give process, and guess what? To my understanding, I don't know nothing they've done to act upon of the grievance.
Jason?
Yeah, and currently Terry Bo's done some wonderful things, and we're not going to take that away. And I'm definitely not going to take that away. There's been some great accomplishments. There's been great grants issued for building our county better, to giving us better facilities. And that's all great. But we do have, and everyone brings it up, the transparency. Yes, there is statements made. Yes, when something is breaking news, it gets answered and covered upon at that point. But it doesn't come out early enough that somebody has to find out about it first and mention it. And that's a problem for our county, and we just need to be more on top of these subjects that are coming up before it's breaking news. We need to cover that and be available and transparent in that manner.
And I agree with
I do want to address this, because Mr. Farrell has said there was nothing done. That is not actually true. Because I took that information. The county executive doesn't do that himself. I sent that information to our county attorney, and our county attorney issued a 32-page document that was given to every one of the county commissioners. It was given to Mr. Farrell, and he found nothing wrong. Now, I'm not a lawyer to figure out whether that's true or not true. That's not my job. When somebody of a law office tells me that there's no credibility to the problem, that I took care of what my job is as county executive.
You did as far as what you're allowed to do with your level.
Yes.
Gotcha.
James? Since as Warren County executive, they have oversight, and he's the chief executive. As a matter of fact, he's responsible, not the attorney, for his decisions, and not the attorney. And the attorney, I showed him the law, showed him the violations, the misdemeanors in office. I said, read. I said, you can read, can't you? And when he read it, he said, you're wanting us to oust a judge. He read the law and what was done. And what did he do about it? I'm going to put you before a committee.
But in retrospect, James, I'm not trying to defend nobody, but
there is
Ryan
due process.
Jay,
I'm not even familiar with what grievances we're talking about, but I mean, there is a due process, and there
who's Ryan's like boss?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is that the Supreme Court?
Probably.
Is that
I don't know.
There's appellate court. When you go through the court system, the county court of Warren County does not overrule cases that come through court.
Yeah.
You go to the appellate court, then you go to the Supreme Court. That's the judicial.
And did you do that, Mr. James?
Oh, I've been there. But this is the problem. He read the law himself, and he read it. And when he got to the end, you're wanting us to oust him. I said, you finally understanding that I filed a complaint.
But he can't.
But
oh, wait a minute. He can bring them before the commission, because that is a court. I don't know if you know, it is actually court. When you go in there, that's a courtroom, and you know who's the judge. And he can bring them and ask them why they're not going by the law. He read the law himself. He read the law.
I'd have to look a little deeper on that. But moving on.
Let's move on to something else, gentlemen. I want to touch back on County Executive Bell on the. Can you explain to me and the listeners of the county, because I don't know either, educate me. What is the difference between, you mentioned making a private act versus zoning, and you mentioned instituting private acts towards the data centers, towards the rock quarries, towards the chicken houses versus where the complexity of just countywide zoning.
Yeah. All right. What the difference in that is countywide zoning. There's also regulations got to be drawn up in countywide zoning. I mean, if some of the people that live in the city understand that because they've got zoning. I mean, Pay Street was a prime example over here. They wanted to change the zoning regulation so they would fit in. So the whole county would have to be done that way if you went to zoning. Otherwise, a private act gives you the ability to target a certain industry or a certain thing. And you write those regulations because we have them now to keep a landfill, a junkyard, a mobile home park. You have to meet that criteria to be able to put those in because it is actually illegal to totally ban any industry.
Yeah. Because you can get sued.
You can get sued, and the county will be in a real
like
liable
was
situation.
it Grundy or DeKalb that got sued when
It was
they
actually Grundy.
They got sued. So let's do a question online. This is from T, our man T. He says, do you support the Constitution? Are you knowledgeable about the Constitution, titles and codes, and necessary to discharge the duties and the oath of office? And it just keeps going on. Do you know the honor and truth? Do you remove comments from the public if they are negative, regardless of the grievance? That's just a lot. So anybody want to take that?
Let's just break it down, Kelly.
That's a lot.
Do you
support the Constitution?
And are you not? Or is everyone running knowledge of what the Constitution?
If you're not American, come on.
We support the Constitution. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Think about how many of the people that work for the county even understand about the rights. It's like the rights to petition the government. How many know about the rights? The rights of due process. And, I challenge any of the DAs or anything to come on the air and show them where I've done wrong. As far as the law, they said I was accused of violating. But you know what ain't happened yet? The court, May 13th is when I went to court and was found guilty of seatbelt. Okay? Do you know what ain't been put in yet? What ain't been put in yet is the fine. I appealed it, and what happened? The appeals court says it's not mature. It's still in court, and this is over 30 days after So is that due process? Why didn't they put in the judgment? They didn't want me to go ahead and appeal it. That's what appears to me because of the treason and the misprision of felonies.
I do want to bring one thing up that all three of these, if they're fortunate enough to win county executive, will be briefed on. There's something everybody wants to holler about transparency, and they want to have Facebook and everything, and they'll be briefed on this just as quick as they take office. There's a county, actually, it's against the law for you to have, it's not against the law for the county to have a Facebook page, don't get me wrong. But if anybody comes on there from out of town, doesn't matter where they're at, and you block any of those comments or you delete any of those, you've just exposed the county to a big liability.
Oh, yeah.
There's a local county in Tennessee that actually got sued and lost $1 million because they went on there and they were from out of town. They weren't even from in Warren County making comments on there. And it was comments they didn't like. So they blocked them. Yeah. And when they blocked them, it was $1 million to settle that lawsuit because there's freedom of speech. So trying to run government off of Facebook is a real challenge and a real liability for the county taxpayers of Warren County.
Okay. You had one question.
Yeah, I've got actually two more, but I wanted to touch on this one first, gentlemen. It's been almost exactly 3 years since the county's purchase of Three Star Mall was finalized on July 13th, 2023. We now have the benefit of hindsight. So in your opinion, was this a good move for Warren County?
Well, when the county actually purchased the building, they blocked a private investor paying property tax to the city on that. So we're seeing a decrease of revenue on tax purposes if you look at it that.
Okay.
So
you
need to look how you can structure that. Right. When they say malls are dying, you got to know how to push your product, and that's how you push it. My solution would be 50 cents a square foot and 10% of sales. That store creates 9.75 tax revenue that the county gets almost 3% of it back to share to the city.
Okay.
The floor is wide open on that 10%. You want that store to thrive. 50 cents a square foot, nobody can touch. So if it's a slow month, the store owner can say, I don't know about that. Who can give you 50 cents a square foot? But if it's a good month, You're 50 cents a square foot, and what's giving away 10% of your sales? You would have events out there constantly, whether it's non-for-profits or charities or craft fairs, events. Because why? You want that store to make that extra 10%.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because the money coming in is to help keep the tax dollars paying the utility costs and the maintenance of the property.
Well, and you being there too, you being in the, I mean, you understand the benefit of foot traffic. So, so nobody, even though somebody may not be going to Jay's restaurant to eat, or in their mind, they're thinking they're at a nonprofit fair, but get them in the building.
And
that's right.
It's my job to get them
That's
in
right.
the business.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Anybody else?
And when it comes to the mall, yes, this has great potential moving forward. Of course, it was acquired through grants, which is great for our county, and I'm not going to discount that at all. But I don't know of any businesses. Negotiations are great, but I've never worked at a business, ran a business, or anything where I can reduce my rent or reduce my payments to the companies or anything like that. Usually you can negotiate the same or stay the same. If you can get a better deal, it's because they want you to offer something new or something. And that's what negotiations are for, and that's great. And they should all do that. Every business that's in there should always be negotiating when their lease is up. That's great. But we need to have rights for multiple businesses to come in there, for multiple events and plannings to support our businesses that are in there or are looking to come there, because we need to open it up for the county, for our residents, for everybody.
James?
Well, since I'm not real familiar with the mall, except for the senior citizen, I just went in there because I'm a member.
Yeah.
I got run out of the senior citizen. They bowled up, her and two commissioners. They bowled up like me. Said, you can't be polite. I just in there to socialize and see the mind of the people. And of course, Terry Bell is my husband's employee, so I didn't like that part.
Well, the question is, do you think, let's keep it on the question. Do you think that the county buying the mall, was that a good thing or was that a bad thing?
If grants had paid for all of it, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think grants paid for all of that. I've been to a lot of the meetings to understand how this county works. And I think there's a lot of bookkeeping, even though they went through all these different meetings to make the books turn out where they was legal and the county when they audited them. But when I find out, the books, I think, they just been where they know how to write the books to not get audited.
Okay. The next, did you?
Sorry. Let's definitely let Terry comment here.
I think it was one of the best things we've done, and I do want to clear that up. The health department portion, 4.1 million, was bought with grant money. The other 2.3 was bought with some funds that we got reimbursed from the federal government, which freed up and allowed us to buy that. I want the public to understand. So technically, that mall was bought with grant money, but it was not straight out bought. The other portion, the 2.3, with that, it was reimbursement funds. All right. Then when you get to looking, everybody keeps talking about the tax revenue. I wonder if any of these guys have looked at the assessment before we bought it, because I did. The assessment of the mall had been cut in half, and I was like, so I got to investigate that on why that had happened. That had happened because there's a little known law out there that if you have rental property and it's not actually got people in it, you can go and request and have your taxes cut in half because you're not receiving revenue off that rental property. So the assessed value on the mall had been cut in half. When we bought the mall, we bought the empty portions. His taxes went full rate then. So we actually are nearly collecting as much taxes today as we were before we bought that part.
Okay.
So that's one of the things probably the public didn't realize.
Yeah.
We didn't lose no tax revenue.
Right.
And this kind of brings me up to the next question. Warren, with everything that's been going on in the current reign of the county executive Terry Bell here in Warren County, while maintaining our tax rate, what things do you think you can accomplish while not increasing our taxes? That was another question.
Well, we've not increased anybody's taxes in the last 4 years, and we can accomplish a lot more because we've done so many cost-saving measures for the county. That's just like we're using inmates to actually clean the county building. We're actually using inmates at animal control to clean down there, which reduces our recidivism of those employees. There's just a world of things we can accomplish by doing. We did have 3 maintenance guys. Now we've got 2. We've just become more efficient and tried to do these things to save money.
Yeah.
That's what we've done.
James?
I'll probably stay out of that.
Okay. Junior?
So how you can grow on tax revenue would be create big industry jobs.
Amen.
I'm talking 300. You can just start with 300 jobs.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big 1,000 employee job, but you can get a spin-off of something that might be in another county close by. If we're about 18 to 20 miles from interstate, you have 3 major trucking companies that can shuttle things in and out. We can work with the airport for expenditure to use it for cargo coming in and out. You have the rail system. We're like 6 lowest around us on the property tax, so that should be an incentive perk. But if I approached an industry and said, hey, would you be interested in coming to us? This is what we have to offer. One catch. If you're going to hire 300 minimum employees, I'd like to have a certain percentage of that to be local residents, because if I can give you a tax incentive break for up to 20 years, I need to be able to get that back by keeping the property tax here. And when they're living here and they're working here, the sales tax can increase. When you start to get, let's say, $25 to $35 paying jobs, that household income will go up, which what's that do? Open up the eyes for big retail to come.
James or Jason, sorry.
That's fine.
There's a lot of J's on this. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of things we can do to save for our taxes and stuff like that. Because, we need to go back out to the farmers. We need to go to these tree farms and things. Our industries that we have, we have multiple multi-million-dollar industries in Warren County. What incentives can we give them to want to expand, to give us more jobs for the public, to open up more positions, availabilities, things like that? Is there incentives we can give to the farmers or to these industries that can open that up, build more jobs, invest in our infrastructures and things like that here, which if we do that, we give work to the people we already have on our payroll also, to get them out there, get them working on these things, make a difference.
Kelly, I do have one thing to go ahead, Mr.
Well, since I've heard the language here, at the forum that we had the other night, there's a guy after the forum. He come up and talked to me. He talked like he was the overseer of $1.something billion. He said, but I'm not going to come to the county because of some of the situations. In other words, it's not company or business friendly to come into this county, because if they don't want you here, the regulations and all the fines and stuff that they can put on you, like they had the center, if you don't want them here, you try to make it where it's uncomfortable for them. And they told me, he's talking about the commission. A lot of the business that come in here, they don't come because the commission, I talked to a store owner. He said, we had the hardest time to get the commission to even allow us to buy. And it was it was a store, I'll put it that way. He said, we had the hardest time, but we finally got it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, make it more business friendly and offer the companies in business to come in here to raise the taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do want people to understand one thing out there. We talk about knowing the Constitution. The Constitution of Tennessee says you can give no one a tax break unless the legislature got by with that. Anybody that wants a tax break to come in this county, their property has to be listed under the IDB, the Industrial Development Board. Because it is not legal for you to give anybody a tax break unless their property is listed under the Industrial Development Board.
Okay, that's really good to know.
And I just want to make one comment. I know JC mentioned John, and I agree with you 100%. We need industries, we need infrastructure, just like JC said, because it leads to higher retail. But what concerns me as a county is, I don't know if we've got the workforce to bring in 300 jobs in the county. Yeah. I mean, that's a scary thing. I talked to Dad was talking to. I deal with it every day. Dad was talking to a lumber yard a mill today, and they're giving their truck drivers a bonus just to show up on time, and they're still not showing up. So so it's I don't think it's always a county problem. I think at times it's a workforce problem. And
it's a person problem.
It's a person problem, not necessarily a county problem.
It is. Don't get me wrong.
Because you've had this issue with it.
Yeah, it's not just Warren County. It's
Right.
not
No,
just
it's
Tennessee.
not.
We're seeing
No.
this nationwide.
Yeah.
But everything that you ever see starts at home.
Yeah.
You start with your children.
Yes.
Well, I got a son this week that's in a camp in Vanderbilt for scholars this week, and they're building robots and they're dissecting on animals to learn the science sense. Today, I forgot what he told me he was going to do, but he's 8 turning 9 Sunday, and he's interested.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
So when
building
you
those
start
skills.
them young,
Yes.
and you
Yeah,
get these
I agree.
kids interested in something, and then when they go up into the next level of high school, I always say 400 people might graduate, for instance, this coming up year, but 200 of them might not go to college, whether it's financial or scholarship issues. But if you instill something that they start enjoying at a young age, and as they get up through the high school and see that college might not be for me. I didn't go to college. I learned a skill and a trade. So you can co-op classes through the programs that we already offer here, get them involved and enrolled. Then if we do have the jobs that can come in, you're telling the industry, I can train them while they're in high school, roll over, they graduate on a Friday night, Monday morning, they're ready to make some money.
And make some good money. And make good money at that.
TCAT and the robotics program.
And I want to expand on that too, because I have currently being involved in our county and stuff. I have talked to some of these multi-million-dollar businesses we have here about investing back with some scholarship incentives, like Bridgestone does. Give field trip accessibility to our juniors and seniors. Let them come in and see what's available in our local industry so that they can choose to stay and maybe make their families here and expand here locally instead of leaving and going to Nashville or some other surrounding counties or states. Let's get these $1 million industries to step up, just like Bridgestone has currently with our high school, with our students, to get them involved, let them understand what's available locally.
And I agree with everything that all y'all are saying, but at the end of the day, it's up to the people that live in that house to get their kids involved, to be involved in those businesses. And the question that I would want to ask as a voter is we can get businesses all day. We can get grants all day. How are we going to get the adults and reprogram them to that point? And it's not going to be overnight, guys.
No.
It's going to take more than 4 or 5 years or even 6 years. If we can get that one person, it's because I used to work at Families in Crisis, and it takes victims anything, and I can even use the dog thing. It takes victims anything from a year to almost 5 or 10 or 6 years, depending on how long they have been in that manipulative, abusive situation. Because there's these people that think that living off the government is the norm, and they don't understand any other, and that breaks my heart. So how are we going to change that mindset in the house front? Because that, guys, to me, is the hardest thing that it's going to be.
Well, we need public forums or something with our own government here of even offering some free courses available to come down to the city hall, come down to the Milner Center and offer some classes that show people what's available, show them how they can make it better for their children moving forward, show availability is local. And that information doesn't need to just be online. It needs to be spoken and taught on a personal level.
So I know, and then this is my follow-up, because I could go on a tangent about it all day. I know that the CASA's doing things. I know that the Child Advocacy Center's got stuff going on. Families in Crisis does parenting programs. There's all these things already, like you're talking about, implemented, and it's not fixed. Like what y'all are saying as of today. It's not enough. Like they do it in person, they do it by phone, they do it online. There's so many ways of that these other companies are getting the word out. Meals on Wheels, when they go deliver meals all the time, I've been on a couple of rides with some folks. They sit there and they talk and they educate and they, socialize aspect. Like I just don't know what else we can do. That's my, and I'm at a standstill.
Start it young. Start it young.
And that is one
Do
thing.
like young programs
Well,
instead
I
of
think
getting
that's
with
one
the
thing that
parents.
probably
Like,
maybe some people doesn't know, that the school system actually bought the old senior center building, got a grant to buy that, and they're actually turning that into. I think the way you make this happen is you've got to get our young kids interested in some kind of trade or something they want to do.
like they were saying,
And that's actually what they're doing with that senior center. It's just like everything else. It takes time to get everything, but they're putting that program in place, and all our middle school kids will be able to go over there and maybe have pet grooming, hair cutting, different things to get them interested in that and get them, hey, I want to do this. I want to be, this is what I want to do.
And not to mention, before we forget, the McMinnville Children's Museum.
Yes.
I mean, the cognitive thinking that once this building gets established, that early age. So between what you're saying, the McMinnville Children's Museum, and then I have to give credit where credit's due. Oh my gosh, Amari, Kids of the Community, Hamilton Kids. If we could focus on those programs, whoever is the next elected official, whether it's Terry or you guys, for me as a voter, you need to focus on those programs and amplify the crap out of them to make sure that these kids, when they leave, I always say you're planting the good, you got to plant that seed, God's got to plant that seed. If you could plant that seed early, like you're all talking about in those programs, then you know what? Those industries y'all are all talking about, they'll come. Correct. And it will all meet one day. It may not be within the 4-year term?
4-year term.
Sorry, I'm learning as I go. But it might not happen in your 4 years, but at least something needs to get done.
James, did you have one more comment before we move on?
Yes. At that forum, there's a guy asked me, he said about the education in this county. He talked about, when I went to school, they had a automotive program and they had T&I, building houses and all. And he talked like that's not in his county now. Yes, train jobs, even in simple things like that. Because I'm going to tell you about carpentry. I don't know if you try to hire a contractor or an automotive. That's two things to come back because we actually need them.
Yeah.
Something like that, that's something that AI or artificial intelligence cannot do. These trades that we're talking about real quick that we're moving, nobody can, I guess you can probably generate a tractor and just let a tractor run on its own in the field and plant wheat and corn and beans. But, like the trades, the welding, the automobile mechanic work, loading a truckload of lumber, I don't think that is something AI or anything. So that is a necessity. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so this next question, what qualifies you guys to run for this office? Have you managed complex budgets, been involved in the community, worked alongside multiple groups? Like, what makes you qualified? Have you handled any legal stuff, things like that?
Go ahead, Mr. Farrell.
Well, I've been handling legal stuff for about 20 years in the courts, and I can say you can talk to most of the DAs, and they know me well. And the judges, they know me well. Also, I can read. How many things of the departments, I wonder how the county executive is even read their duties. So I go online, check their duties out. It's like the clerk of the courts. I checked her duties out. You know what was one of her duties? It was to make sure that they actually have a good affidavit in the thing. And I checked, they didn't. What I'm trying to say is to check the agencies and make the agencies come back to the law. In other words, if they're going to have policies, make sure that they're going by the law. And I can read, and I have pretty good understanding. So reading what the agencies does and let them come back to reality and go by the law.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, yeah, I'm glad to answer that question. Of course, I've run a farm for years and years. And then we went, I started out with 38 acres and now I'm up to 900. So I've managed a business, a nursery business. So that experience is there. And I've got 16 years of business as a county commissioner. And of course, I've had the last 4 as the county executive. That's one thing we was able to do, hit the ground running, because we knew how the government actually worked. And I'm interested to know if the individuals sitting here actually know what kind of financial shape Warren County is in. Because I know one of them, went on the air and said that the wheel tax had been moved into the general fund. It is not. It is still exactly in debt service where it's always been to pay educational debt.
Okay.
So that's a question I have.
I had 12 children. I have run business. I run a car crushing business.
Okay.
I have had a nursery, and I have actually run crews. I've done a lot of contracting for the nurseries. So as far as understanding business, at the end, if you ain't got no profits, you know what happens? You have to go out of business. And so I've understood, and guess what? We was always in business. Okay, so I have 12 kids, and they're not cheaper by the dozen.
They made a move about that. Was that about you? No, okay. I was about to say they got a great actor to play you. If it was, I'm just saying. Junior?
Well, a lot of it is listening to your community, because, you know, I might not hear what's going on in Viola, Urban College, different situations. It's about listening to your people, hearing the concerns, but then you also set them down and explain to them the do's and the don'ts of what you're doing. Just break it down and simplify it, because the simpler you make things, the more that they can understand and say, well, I didn't either think about it that way, or I understand it that way. Now, the phone is always going to be ringing off that hook. People are always going to be coming in and out that door. One thing I've always learned is if you don't have the answer to it, to be truthful to it, tell them that, get their contact information, and get back to them as quick as you can.
Yeah, you know, then that comes back again to being fully transparent with the questions we're asked, with the situations that arise. I've spoke with surrounding county executives to see, if I get into this position, how can we work together to support each other in our surrounding counties, because we're neighbors. We got to work together, you know, and I'm sure there's going to be something in this job once I get in there that I didn't know. That's with any job, you always learn. I'm always willing to learn, willing to focus on these issues that arise. But, you know, it's just got to be the avenue. I have my own farm. I call it my homestead, but it is a business. I've run multiple businesses over the years, handling financial budgets, the hiring and releasing of employees, you know, payrolls, ordering of products and or merchandise for these stores. So budgets, accountability, things like that, I'm no stranger to whatsoever.
That's a good one. Read
But
that one.
real quick,
Okay, sorry.
People need to understand that you have 24 commissioners and the boards for a reason. That's the thing.
I did want to touch on this. I'm glad Leah Crouch did raise this quickly. I've heard this I've heard this maybe in different counties and just different areas of people that I know in different counties, cities, states, wherever. I do have a question though. Why did this comes from Leah. Why did the property taxes increase? I have heard several citizens talking about that.
I tell you my thoughts. As far as saying the percentage changing, they raised the land value for whatever reason. It ain't what you paid for it. They raised the land value, so the percentage, guess what? When you multiply it or add it to it, that makes it higher. Because my taxes have been higher. You know, it has been higher, even though they saying they're not. They've raised the value so that your taxes will be higher.
But also, this is something that the state does every 5 years. Now, Terry's team done a really good job about it. Could have went a lot higher. So, but this is something that is going to come up again around 2030.
So this is what you're saying. This is a statewide instituted. It's not just the county saying, okay, the county's growing.
The county don't want to go in there on anybody. I'm sure Terry would say the same thing. Because he'll get affected as well. Nobody wants to go in there and say, oh, we got to have it, so let's raise it. No, that's not how it works.
And I don't believe for the 26-27 fiscal year that our property taxes went up here countywide.
They have not. And if you allow me to, maybe I can clear this up for some people. Every 5 years, the state of Tennessee, we're on a reappraisal cycle. What that means is they reappraise your values. What happened this last cycle to cause some people's taxes went up, but for everybody that went up, there's somebody that went down. And where that happened in the fact is where the people moving in here, which we're fortunate that we are growing, and we're growing in. I know everybody's heard of a house selling next to you, and they're like, I can't believe somebody paid that for that house. that come in there. Well, that actually caused the housing market in this area, they were higher than land values were. So some people that had naked land, their values actually went down. When they reassess, the state comes in, reassesses it every 5 years, they readjust this. They balance it out. And the county got not another penny when and these taxes, but some people's taxes did go up. If you had a house, yours were higher than people that had naked land.
Oh.
Because it's a
And that was a
reappraisal.
state?
It's a state reappraisal thing.
Okay.
And we're not allowed to generate more money off property taxes in a reappraisal year without having public hearings and everything. They send us a rate that we have to set. So the county actually had no control over
that one.
anybody's property tax going up.
Anybody else before we do the next one?
So they're saying they kept the taxes low and they ain't got no control over it. The county don't have no control, so it was the state.
Yeah.
Blame the people moving in from out of town.
Yeah.
Blame the people from California buying that high dollar
Because they
home.
like, again, I've always said this, Reece, and you can agree with me or disagree, but people move down here because they like our tax rates.
Well, and they'll tell you the cost of living is so much cheaper. Like
Yeah.
$1 million home.
I've never heard nobody
I mean, $1
complain.
million home and a small little cookie cutter $1 million home, and and they might pay wherever, and then it might be really worth $300,000, but they'll pay $500,000 just
And
because.
unfortunately, what I see happening, and y'all guys can agree with this, is when it really the only time when people get upset or it really affects them is when it affects them.
Yes.
It's a problem then.
Yes.
And
Well, I've always, my whole career, been against property, raising property tax. I mean, for 16 years, we held property tax down. I got defeated. They raised property taxes up then. I'm in here. We've held them down another 4 years. So I'm going to
Good.
do all I
Yeah.
can for the property
Good.
owners
Yeah.
of Warren County.
And one more thing.
Now, if they've not got nothing to do with the taxes, how are they holding it down?
Terry?
The rate, if you leave the rate the same, everybody, I tried to explain that. If you had land, you probably went down. If you had a house, you went up. The housing market was growing faster than the land values were.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, if you ain't got nothing to do with it.
We set the tax rate. We do set the tax rate.
So you do have something to do
But
with
the state can
But the
make
state-
it. He's talking about the state. Don't
Well,
get
they
the
would
county
have,
and
they
the-
would have to be cuts across the board if you tried to, anytime the county
Yeah.
commission could lower the taxes, but you'd have to cut the schools or somebody.
This one. So I don't know if this is a question that like Terry or any of you guys, but it says, can we get the folk cameras taken down?
That's something that
Is
was,
is that a sheriff thing? Or?
that's a sheriff thing.
Okay, that's a sheriff thing. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
That-
go through these as best as we
that.
can.
It's called plot cameras. Is what it's called, plot cameras, where they spy on
Plot
people. and
cameras.
stuff.
Okay. I was trying to go through.
I've got
these.
one more while you're looking through
Okay.
there. Okay, this would be a good question since Dallas is still here with us. Animal control has been a controversial topic for decades. How would you evaluate Warren County animal control, its work with animal rescues, and its direction for the future?
I've got,
Okay.
we do have what they call an animal shelter. You try to call them, because I live beside a roadside park, okay? And what does people like to do with animals? They find places where they can dump them. And you try to call the animal shelter to come out. And I mean, we've had some vicious dropped off, and they tell you they're full. So now this is being, usually they tell you full. They might come out and get, why is it an animal shelter? And they get $240,000 a year budget. And they only got one full-time employee, 2 part-time. Then they have the jailers and stuff like that. And what do you call it? Volunteers to come in there. But why is it even an animal shelter? Oh, it's the pet owners. Well, that might be the problem. And I even heard one time it's because we got people in jail and ain't nobody to take care of their animals. And I figured, if I'm right, somebody correct me. It's over $1,300 and something an animal.
Yeah.
Because it's only 300 animals in 20 months. Don't that sound over 13, probably closer to $1,400 an animal?
I'm going to counter that right now.
My daughter does.
Okay.
And
I
2
have a
cats.
Great Dane, and I'm looking at Dallas, a 19-year-old Great Dane. Thank you. And I have a 5-year-old pit lab mixed mutt, whatever. I don't know what he is, honestly, and I have a cat. Do you know one bag of food cost for dog food? Like a 68, 70 pound?
Oh, they're high.
So I have to buy 2 bags a month. I spend almost $200 a month for my 2 dogs alone. My cat is the most efficient buy I've made so far. And I only get him this little bag, which is like $12-15 because he's a light eater. So I'm just saying, think about that math. If I'm spending $200 a month at 12 months
for 2 dogs.
For 2 dogs.
Think about what the shelter's spending.
I want to just put that out there to you, because and then that doesn't include, the shots, the care. So I just want you to think about that too before you say. I understand, like to you, the with the numbers and stuff, but you got to look at how much one investment for a dog is.
It's kind of like I say, if you had $1 million budget, somebody eventually it's going to cost $2 million to run.
Yeah.
Well, and listen, there's not just one rescue in the United States.
Right.
There is multiple. This is not the only animal shelter in the United States.
That are having problems. Yeah.
So yes, the rescues are full. They're overrun. One thing I would like to do is, instead of using or keep the website that we have, you have to physically think, let me go search it.
Yeah.
But if you do a Facebook and let it pop up on an ad feed, you might see. But what I would do is try to find the oldest animal and the one that's been kept in captivity the longest. You're trying to push those first, because my son would go in there, or a daughter, if maybe, Randy Jane, oh, let's see the kittens, let's see the puppies. They want the little cute things first. And I get that too.
Yeah.
But the older ones need a home as well.
Yeah.
So when you flood it enough on Facebook and push them out, that might help lead. But we could build, honestly, we could build 1,000-bed animal shelter for cats and dogs, and it's going to be filled up.
Yep. Yeah.
So one good thing that we're doing is they're still offering, I believe, Terry, the free services of the spay and neuter as long as you do the adoption.
Yes.
Okay. As long as we can keep that ball rolling and stuff, that will help eventually.
It will make a difference.
Yes, it will.
It will eventually make a difference.
And at the end of the day, it goes back to being a responsible pet owner. Can you afford $100 a day, $100 a month animal bill or food bill? Can you afford the vet care? Can you afford can you afford that? Because if you can't,
well,
don't buy it.
And I want to say this because I've been at the meetings, and Terry can correct me if I'm wrong. They have been doing free adoption, waiving all the adoption fees for how long now?
About 20 months.
20 months.
That's when the most success we've had.
Yeah.
To try to get the animals out of the shelter. That's been the most frustrating thing that I've had as county executive. And when I go all over the state, we have meetings with other county executives. They tell me the same thing.
Yeah.
They tell me that this is a problem all over the state of Tennessee. And I said, well, what do we need to do to solve it? They said, if you solve it, you can get yourself elected governor immediately. Because they said it's unsolvable, because a lot of times people are using pets they have trouble with their neighbor. And the dog goes over in their yard. Then they want you to arrest the neighbor just because the dog come across. Yeah. So it's back and forth, and we have irresponsible pet owners. And when you're talking about a dog laying down and having 8 or 10 puppies.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how long does it take us to get full? We think we've got 3 down at the shelter right now that are expected, that we picked up.
And it's fixed.
Go ahead, James.
I checked into the food. Matter of fact, there's a guy talked to me at the meeting the other night.
Mm-hmm.
He said you can go on Amazon. You ain't got to go to Walmart and stuff like that to buy your food. Since you're a company, just like the gas, you got it at the wholesale price. So since you're paying all that don't mean the food has to cost that.
No, it's just it's
that
the
was
pounds,
just a number.
This is the pounds per month. I have to make sure that they get fed twice a day.
Okay.
Not the price. It's the pound. It's price per pound. Is that the way to say it?
We've done shopped out our food, and we've cut costs tremendously since I took office just on the dog food.
Yeah.
So the $200 don't sound logical for
and that was just a number. That was just. You go buy a bag of Overoil for probably $30, and they'll have the runs.
No, it costs about. If you do the taxes, it's $80 a bag. I don't know the taxes
is that the number?
And I do 2 bags a month.
But that don't mean you got to go that route, because yours probably live in a penthouse. I don't know if you live in a penthouse. I'm just showing you a dog.
I live in the country, but nursery life. Jason knows, and Terry, all y'all. June's brother by my house. Okay. But no, but again, it's price per pound. But So the next thing,
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead,
okay,
Jason.
Go ahead.
I'm
so sorry.
You know, and I've worked with local rescues here in our own county for over 5 years now.
Mhm.
I've worked with Bark Rescue, Viola Dogs with Miss Linda, Eric over at Bark Rescue.
Yeah.
Sherry with Last Paw Patrol, Sabrina Keaton that does the Warren County Spay and Neuter programs. So there's a lot of other available avenues in Warren County other than just the shelter. I feel like, and this is one of the things I'm really passionate about, and one of the reasons I'm running, the shelter needs to work with these organizations that are here in our county because they have hundreds of followers and volunteers, thousands, some of them, that are willing to go in and donate their time and willing to come in and volunteer. But with the current scrutiny and screening to be able to work there is like getting a job, and it's really difficult. And we need to review that and see if there's a better option moving forward. I'm also got a volunteer with backing of funds to start a program that's free to our citizens here in Warren County to come and learn responsible pet ownership and what's expected if you get a puppy or you get a cat. What can happen? What are the bills you're going to inquire? What is the food expense you're going to have? Or training, you know, to train your animal along the way. That do they understand what that financial responsibility is going to be moving forward? But we do have current laws here in our county when it comes to animals that we're not enforcing currently. We're not going out and issuing tickets or fines or whatever you want to call it to major situations that are happening. We just say, hey, don't do it again, or they're not even addressed at all. And that's something we need to revisit and see if we can reinforce that, you know. And I'm not talking about going after the farmer's dog that's out there working in the field. We have tons of that here, and that's a responsible owner. That's different than what we're talking about collectively here. But we need to cut on some of the waste we're also spending. Yes, we've got a great food program and everything else, but we're taking way too long to build on this new structure for our shelters when other surrounding counties have built theirs in less than a year. We're going on 3 years. I know we've lost some money with failed contracts that didn't come through for us, and then that's not your fault or anybody else. That's a failed contract, which is just like we spoke about businesses not holding up their end
of their bargain.
But I do feel like we have enough here that we should be up and running strong at this point. You know, can we get somebody to go over there and at least cut the grass where it's not a field to mow hay for right now and things like that? If we're not building, can we keep it looking clean? Can we keep it professional? Can we keep it up to date? You know, and there's a lot of things we can do. We just need to start implementing them. You know, it's a slow process. You can't implement everything overnight. It's got to go through the channels. It has to be approved. So,
are y'all ready for the next one? Oh, okay.
Since we was going to have this meeting, I went to Paul's veterinary clinic and talked to him because this guy told me about him. And I went there and talked to the missus, and she said one of the problems with the dog pound, one reason they don't like to take dogs or mess with dogs from the dog pound is because of parvo. And she said we want to keep our clinic and all and the people that come in here where they don't have to worry about their dogs catching parvo.
Okay.
So she's talking about that and talked about spading and stuff like that, like the cats. I just was out of curiosity wanting to know what they would charge for spading cats and all. It surprised me. I think $30 to $35 or something like that.
Dallas, Dallas, do you have anything you want to add on the parvo situation with in the clinics and the shelters rather?
Responsible pet owners will vaccinate their animals and protect them and then mitigate those risks. So it comes back to having a responsible community with responsible pet owners.
All right. Thank you.
Next question that we have, it says, ask everyone how much the county executive job pays, then ask them how many districts are in the county. Jason?
As far as our position of what we're being paid, reviewing financial statements and things like that, I want to say it's over $200,000 a month on average. I know for a city our size on general, they say it starts at 125 and goes up per month. That's something we need to review. I mean, I'm not trying to cut my own paycheck, but I think some money cut there to be average like it should be could help us financially hire more employees for the shelter or support and things like that. You know, I mean, that's things we got to revisit and review and talk about moving forward.
And how many districts?
Hot seat. How many districts in the county?
How many districts are in the county?
Because we're getting close to the end, guys, because it's almost 11.
Yeah,
So
and I've got it.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
How many
Time flies.
districts there?
And we'll zero last. Yeah.
5 or 6, right?
Well, 5 or 6 was his answer. So let's not
Okay,
reveal.
let's not reveal. Junior.
You're asking about the salary. That's a lot of people's asked me that, and I honestly don't know what he makes.
Okay.
I mean, that's something that that's
Is
least
that-
of my worries on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 12 districts.
How many districts?
12.
12. Well, all right.
12 districts and the salary. I just found out the other day because I was checking on some salaries from supposedly one guy getting $325,000 salaries from the same county, and it's 120,000.
Okay.
And actually 12 districts.
Okay. Terry, drum roll.
James Farrell is right. I wish we was getting the thing
Yeah.
Mr. Gooden said.
Yeah.
But to talk about revisiting it, that is mandated by the state of Tennessee. The only way that can be changed is you would have to donate part of your salary back to the county as a nonprofit contribution.
Okay.
Is the only way you could cut that salary.
Has that ever been done before?
No, I don't. Not that I know of, because it's went up. It was 117, I think, last year. Now they may be a few cents.
I've got one more thing I want to add before speaking on money and districts.
quick fire
And Terry, just kind of give myself, the candidates, the listeners, kind of just an overview of maybe a typical day for you. Maybe how many hours do you put in on a week? Because I mean, you have to wear many hats. I mean, it's not. I mean, you've got a lot of people pulling at you.
And a lot of times the county executive job starts about 7 o'clock in the morning. You'll start getting phone calls that this is going on or that's going on. I know it sounds easy for everybody. Well, you should be over here doing this, but we are actually in charge of buying the fuel in my office. We oversee all the financial things that come through. That Justin Cotton does that, but we work extensively with him. So we'll have to talk to him a couple of times a day on where you can do this legally or you can't do this legally. And it's really important that you know the financial health of our county to be able to make this happen. And then there'll be individuals like Mr. Farrell came in, Mr. McEwen applied for a job that you've got to go through all those situations, and you've got to do that. And so somebody constantly, then it doesn't stop after that. After hours, if we get a dog call at 2 o'clock in the morning, I've got to turn around. Then we got to get an employee come in, and they've got to go pick up the truck. Then they've got to go out and pick up the dog, and then they've got to go back. So you're on call all the time.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that. I know these gentlemen do, but I don't think it's easy to say, hey, he's maybe just shows up at 9 and works till 2, or he's rubbing shoulders with the governor or whatever. But he is. I mean, it's a very
somebody
busy,
is going to be in that office, but that phone is always
Right.
24/7.
And I'll be honest with you, I had some dealings with Terry earlier. I mean, not dealings, but I needed his assistance, needed his help, and he called me back. He answered my questions. He was very, so, but I know but that's just what it is. He's got people like me, pulling at him times a
Our
minute.
office is always open now. I may have not been able to do what you wanted done, but our office is always open, and I'm willing to talk to you.
Okay, quick fire. I'm sorry to cut because we got stuff we're trying to get. I know everybody's got to go to do their thing. Hot topic, Junior. The meeting with Building and Grounds, the mall lease stuff, as you know. One person did ask, and so these are individual. Did you pay the dumpster fee yet?
No,
And then it says why.
because it's not been implemented in my new contract that we're still working on.
Okay.
Waiting on my attorney, but I believe we have a meeting with my attorney this coming Wednesday.
Okay.
If we want to be transparent today, Junior, can you tell them what's in your lease about trash?
I'm responsible for taking it off.
All right, let me read it to you. So this will be good for everybody in Warren County. Tenants shall keep the premises, including the entranceway, sidewalks, delivery areas adjoining the premises in clean and orderly condition, free from rubbish, dirt, snow, and ice. Tenants shall store all trash, garbage within the premise in suitable containers so located so as not to be visible to customers and business invitees in the shopping center, and so as not to create or permit any health or fire hazard. Tenants shall not install or permit the installation of automatic garbage disposal equipment. Tenant shall remove each trash, garbage, and refuse only in such places as landlord may designate, and the tenant shall leave such trash, garbage, and refuse for collection outside the premise in the manner and at the times specified by the landlord. Now, I'm going to replace the landlord and tenant so everybody will know exactly where it is. If Warren County government shall provide or designate a service for disposing or picking up refuge and garbage, then the tenant shall use the same.
Okay. So
my
that's a lot.
question is,
Can you break that down,
I
Terry?
did not
Just
prepare
What
for that.
what that means is we determine what trash service you use at the mall.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if we
Thank
say you use, let's say we said you had to use capital waste,
Okay.
that's who you have to use.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that being said, Junior, do you want to rebuttal that?
I'm just wondering, why after 7 months now? Why not after 3rd month? If I'm renting a house from you,
Do you not know?
see that?
Do you not know your own lease?
My question is, if I'm renting a house from you and you haven't received the payment in 3 months, would you not start calling me? That's my question.
But then let me get your truth with
Since
that.
January 1, you picked up papers to run for county executive. I feel it's unethical for me to have contact and be
Conflict of
involved
interest.
in your negotiations.
And you agree to that, right? That would be a call. Okay.
All right. Well, you didn't get a bill till January the 1st. We waited to start that
But are you
January
the
1st.
only one under the government that can contact me?
You might
That's
not.
over that, because Building and Grounds actually was the one that implemented the
Yeah.
service of this.
So let
It
me
wasn't
say this. Can I
sanitation or
interject one thing? Because I've had this conversation with Junior off air. You haven't paid it, but have you used it?
Yes.
So, and then a lot of people commented saying, that's taxpayer dollars. So how can you put them at ease that
Because
you use it?
when you have 8 units underneath our contracts right now, but only 3 are getting invoiced. I'm not the only one that's not paying on an invoice. Now, if the other one, without mentioning names, who's not been also paying for 7 months, has not been paying, their management group has not been notified either.
Okay. All right.
Can I mention something real fast?
Sure.
We're up here. We all have to give. It's not my business that the situation's under. But as a business owner, if my mail doesn't come to my house for my farm and the electricity I use within 30 to 60 days, and I don't receive a bill, I still know I have to pay for it. It still has to be paid, or they shut it off.
Yeah.
And that goes with any business owner, whether they're at a city government building. Even the city should be held at that same responsibility, but I should be calling at the end of the month saying, hey, I didn't get my bill. Can you resend it or let me know what it is so I can pay it?
Before it gets
And
shut off.
That's a responsible business owner. Now, it also, there's another side to this. As the company that runs this service, they should be reaching out to me or making it known to me right away. It doesn't have to be specific person. It can be management or something. What is it? An email? Is it a phone call? If those don't work, I should be knocking on your door and leaving a hanger or something saying, hey, there a 7-month window of no contact needs to be reviewed and addressed also, if that's true. Because their trash responsibilities or the city's responsibilities needs to be on top of that also.
But
I have a question about that. If he's not been contacted, we have talked to Junior about this. If he's not been contacted, we cannot have the dumpsters picked up over there. The city, you can call the city and ask them if you can have somebody else's dumpster picked up. They'll tell you cannot if you rent the service. He contacted them to pick it up. We contacted Mr. Petit. He repeatedly says he will not pay that.
But if this contract if the mall lease goes through the way that you would like it, are you going to be willing to pay the fines?
I pay day one.
Anybody else have any questions before I do my
Because
last one?
The people need to understand, we started receiving invoices first week of January. But that has actually been in place out there for almost 8 months prior with no invoices at all. So we waited almost 8 months before we decided we were going to do this. So really, if you think about it, maybe I should pay for the other 8 months.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true, because we give them a grace period because I don't want to throw nobody under the bus. We couldn't get one of the dumpsters picked up. The dumpster was still out there because you have to call in yourself and get it picked up. The county didn't get any of them picked up.
Okay.
You had to do it yourself. So we were given a grace period there, and I just thought it was good for our renters out there. But evidently, he would rather pay. So
just and not to clarify, like with everybody, all the tenants in there, is there anybody exempt from?
They is. I'll tell you this now: the senior center is exempt. The far as we can find back, the Warren County government has put a dumpster at the previous site and went out there every week and picked up their trash. So when they moved the senior center, why would we start charging them then? Then anybody else, and Mr. Petit, if he hadn't run for county executive, this contract would have done been settled. We'd done that fixed. But it's a conflict of interest for me to be involved in them negotiations because I have included that in the lease for everybody else that we've leased a space to.
Okay. So, wrapping it up, because I did tell the guys if we had time, because I know Reece has got to go, and if you need to bounce, you can.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Thank you for letting us be here today. So like I told y'all, if y'all had one question, ask somebody on here, but if somebody's already been asked a question, you can't go back at it, okay? So I am going to let James Farrell start. Who would you like to ask a question to? And remember, be nice, guys.
I'll try to be.
Okay. I'll take that, James. I'll take that. Okay.
Terry, can you read?
Yes, I can
That's
read.
your question?
I tell you,
It's one question. You get one.
That's a little insulting to me because I just read something to you.
Okay.
Did you hear me do that?
Well, I'd like to add a little bit more to that question. How many of the agency departments, the duties and all, have you read?
I have not read them all, but I know a lot of the duties of a lot of the departments because as a elected official, everybody needs to understand, I do not have control over your sheriff, your highway department, your register of deeds, your county court clerk. You're stepping over your boundaries when you're going into that person's office and telling them how they have to run their office.
Okay. Terry, now you get to ask a question to either James, JC, or Jason.
Oh,
this is my fun segment, y'all.
Yeah, this is a fun segment, and this is something that happened on Facebook. Listen, you can attack me all you want to, but when you go to attacking my employees, I kind of feel a little different because they didn't ask to run, and there was a comment put on that we had denied 2 veterans to be put up on the wall, and I think a lot of our veterans and our veteran service. And I won't get this straightened out right here because that really bothers me. Who denied those, Mr. Petty?
Your office.
That is not true. We cannot get a DDD 214, and you have to get that.
I have to.
All right. Have you filled out the application and turned it in?
No, because they told me that here's what we were told.
Stay calm.
Once we found out that I had 2 DD 214s, well, then the story was that we don't have a frame shop. So I said, I understand, and I dropped it from there. So we actually used the DD 214 to honor this person at the Black History Museum last month.
You bring it up there. We have had trouble getting somebody to put a frame up there. We have somebody now, but you have not turned in an application to make that happen.
Okay. Now, JC.
Oh, I have no questions.
You don't want to ask Jason or James a question?
No, this whole thing has got nothing to do with personal issues. I don't know Terry personally. I just really started meeting him about 3 years ago and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's done really good with the community as a whole, commissioner all the way up. Maybe the only question I would have is, being affiliated with the county government for 20 years, why have we lost more jobs on over 300 employment than we've created?
Okay. Well, I mean,
is that me, or are you just asking that?
Well, no, I mean, it's just something to think about.
If you want to answer it, Terry, that's fine.
Well, I think Reece just, the most of the industries, and I named off the other day, we got 380 jobs coming in Bridgestone, and a lot of people don't understand. It's just like the animal shelter being built. These things don't happen overnight. They're just getting through with construction out there, and they've hired some of those people. They've not hired all of them. NEFAB is expanded, went into Aquatech.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Victolic expanding out there. We've got the bottlers that come in here the last 4 years. Those are jobs coming here. I wish we had a bunch of jobs coming in here, but that is actually the IDB controls that sector, and we work extensively with the Industrial Development Board.
James, does anybody want to ask James, or James, you want to ask a question?
And
Sure.
like I said, it's not directed at somebody in their personal position on things. With our shelter, everybody wants to know why it's taken so long. We've had other surrounding counties build brand new, majorly efficient shelters in less than a year's time.
Yeah.
We've had major difficulties here for some reason, getting it done, getting either contracts or whatever. Is there anything extra to that you would provide? Because I know we made a statement that it took 3 years to build the health center. Well, we only bought the mall 3 years ago. You know, yes, you could say, well, the thought of it going in starts the build, but we didn't take bids for the contracts until March of last year. So we're talking a year's time from bids of building the facility for it being up and running. You know, the shelter is 3 times that in planning and efficiently affecting it. Do we have a finish date? Or is it going to take another year?
I got you.
No, I mean, and that's been the most frustrating thing. We're our general contractor. I don't know if anybody in February of 22 or 23, that money was appropriated to build the shelter. Only $400,000 was appropriated. All right, we started out and Stacy Harvey donated the walls. Well, I called Stacy and I said, what do you think it'll take to finish it? He said, I would think $400,000 would finish that. Well, so we proceeded on. We thought he had an engineer that drawed it up. We thought that would work fine. Justin Cotton checked with the comptroller. Comptroller said, no, you're going to have to get another architect to draw that up. Well, I don't know if you work with an architect, but it takes a long time. He drawed it up. He put some drains in there, some stainless steel drains. And I told him when he was drawing them, I said, I don't think we can afford those. Well, come along and our bid come in and put the drains in was over $200,000. So we had to go back. We had to Steve Breedlove told us we could redraw the drains. He said, we got it down to $89,000 because $89,000 to put in because there's 2 drains in each kennel. All that had to be dug out, put in. So you have to wait for that contractor. That had to go to the bid process, wait for that contractor to do it. Now we've got to turn around. We've got to hire somebody to pour the concrete. Concrete costs you about $77,000 to do that. So I think we're off and running. We got past the main hurdle. All right, we get ready to put the roof on. We put the roof out for bid, and I think $161,000 is the cheapest bid we got to put a roof on that facility.
Yeah.
All right, now to keep in mind that bids have to stay out 2 weeks, and then when a contractor gets a job, it takes however long he's got that's on his schedule. You're in line, wherever you're in line, his things. All right. So we've done that now. So we get to looking at it. We don't have that money to put in that without going back and asking for more money to fix that. So we wind up and we figure out that we can buy the materials and contract. We find a contractor that'll put it up for us, and we put that roof on for $70,000. Then TCAT was supposed to finish the inside. I'm on my 3rd carpentry director right now at TCAT. That same engineer that I had draw this building up told me Manchester is building one just like that. $2.4 million. So if it takes us a little extra time, I think it's going to be worth it. But that is the things that's happened. Also, the kennel walls in there, they're not a standard size. So now we've had to have actual doors and kennels made with doors on them. They're making them. They should be done here at the end of July. TCAT's almost got the ceiling in with the electric group at TCAT. We've also had to have McMill Electric bring 3-phase up there. I've got a guy coming next week to put the sewer in. It is taking way too long. I understand that.
You agree to that?
I agree to that.
Yeah.
But we're our own general contractor.
Yeah.
When you go to building houses, and it's not like I can go out and hire anybody.
You're preaching to the choir right now because I'm building
How long
a
does
house
it
right
take you
now.
to build your house?
We're still doing it. 3 years.
3 years?
3 years, and it's still not done.
And we're using all local contractors.
That's correct.
We're trying to support
the local
economy.
I'm as frustrated as anybody.
College, our students, or whatever, to try to build this. But
did
I
that
know
clarify?
That's a big question everybody had on their mind.
Did that put a little ease to it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you guys for coming on the show with me today. It's been a pleasure. And so thank you to our executive director, incumbent Terry Bell, James Farrell. I almost called you James Clark. There's too many James in my world. J.C. Petit Jr. and also Jason McEwen. It is really nice getting to sit down, and I hope that this helped. I think this was a great conversation today, guys. Thank you so much. Remember, early voting has started today, and it goes on till go vote. If you don't like or you liked what these guys said, you need to go and vote for who you want as your county executive. And also, too, don't forget on July the 27th, the Centertown location and the Morrison-Ruatan location is going to be available, and you don't have to be a resident to vote at the early voting room, at Morrison-Ruatan, or at the Centertown area. I want everybody to know that. So wherever you're at, go do it. But guys, I always say you can either be a blessing or a curse. And here at Warren First, we try to be a blessing. And I hope this is as transparent. Y'all wanted transparency, and I hope you got what y'all wanted today.
And thank you, Warren, for putting
thank
this
you.
on for us and letting us have more time to answer.
There was still a ton more questions.
Sending it to us.
Yeah.
Follow
And
our profiles
yes.
and ask us questions.
Tag
We're gonna
them.
keep asking.
Tag them in the questions. That is the best way to do it. We did that last time. But thank you guys. Take care. God bless and enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, Warren County, remember, keep it